Yeah, you been scarred, but you a czar, you can crawl to the grave. I know that a lion's inside, sleeping in your heart. Step back and remember who you are.
What up, Pride? It's your boy Amari, back again with another reaction video. Today we're getting into another part of Hamilton. We're just continuing on from where I left off in part 4. This video includes quite a few songs in it, so I have no idea how long this video is going to be, but thank you so much in advance for clicking on this video. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. If you're new here and haven't seen my other parts of my Hamilton reaction, definitely make sure to go check those out. Those are in the Hamilton playlist on the channel, which will be linked down below in the pinned comment, as well as in the description of this video, so definitely make sure to check those out. But without further ado, let's get into this, and I'm seeing all of you guys on the other side.
Cause if the tomcat can get married, if Alexander can get married, there's hope for our rest after all. Raise a glass to freedom. Hey, something you will never see again. Faster the four of us. Oh, to the newly not poor of us. We'll tell the story of tonight. Let's have another round.
Okay, so on my breakdown of where I'm supposed to start and stop in each part, it actually has the song titles for a given part. And so I knew coming into this that this song was titled The Story of Tonight Reprise. And so like the last two videos, I expected there to be like a lot of motifs that were reworked into this song. And of course there are. It's the same top line vocal melody with certain lyrics switched out. The first line was the same, just like at the beginning of, I believe, A Winter's Ball. Yeah, I think last part, it was like the exact same line from a previous song to start it off, and then it takes you in a new direction. And this does the same thing, obviously. But what I found interesting is that while this is a reprise, and in fact the first reprise I've come across, I don't know if this is the only reprise because I haven't looked at all of the song title names or whatever, but this is the first reprise I've come across in my reaction to this. And unlike some of the other songs that reference previous songs, this does not have the same intro as the song it's referencing, which I found really interesting because, as I've pointed out in the other videos, I'm obviously very intrigued by this like reworking back in previous aspects of the musical into future songs. I think it's really dope, and so every time it comes up I keep talking about it because I like it, but the way in which they're doing it is not the exact same every single time, like in this case, having a different intro. I think the intro on Story of Tonight is, yeah, it's just a cappella, so it's not really anything to like work back in, but they could have started this as an a cappella. They didn't, so I just thought that was cool. On to the plot bit. Them boys is hammered, okay? They're like, Hamilton can barely stand. Lafayette slurring his words. Now, albeit he has an accent, so his it's extra bad though. It's like he like almost speaking French at this point.
Tu m'énerves. Tu me saoules. Tu me fais chier. Tu me prends la tête. T'es relou, sérieux. Tu me casses les couilles.
I don't know what they drinking on, but it's effective. Mulligan and Lawrence are cracking like drunk dude jokes, not just like normal humor, but like drunk. I don't, if you've been around drunk people, that makes sense. When people are drunk, their humor is different, and this portrays that perfectly. Speaking of, I feel like every scene Mulligan has been in, he said something that has made me laugh. Actually, really all three of them, because like at the wedding, Lafayette and Peggy had a funny moment. So did Lawrence and Angelica. Like I feel like these three are just like a comedy trio. I don't know if they were responsible for all of the comedy in this particular musical, but so far these three have been hilarious to me. And maybe that's because they've been drunk like half of the time they've been on screen, but whatever, it don't matter. The point is crazy funny.
If Alexander can get married, there's hope for our rest after all. Raise a glass to freedom. Hey, to the newly not poor of us. We'll tell the story of tonight. Let's have another round. Spit a verse, Bird.
I see the whole gang is here.
You are the worst, Bird.
Ignore them. Congrats to you, Lieutenant Colonel. I wish I had your command instead of manning George's journal.
No, you don't.
Well, I heard you got a special someone on the side, Bird.
Is that so?
What are you trying to hide, Bird?
I should go.
No, these guys should go.
You're very kind, but I'm afraid it's unlawful, sir.
What do you mean?
She's married, and She's married to a British officer.
Oh, shit.
Congrats again, Alexander. Smile more.
I will never understand you. If you love this woman, go get her. What are you waiting for?
Time out. So if my last video wasn't clear on my stance on adultery and just cheating in general, I'm not for it, okay? So, Alex, I rock with you. You're my boy. But bad advice. Don't tell him that first off, generally speaking, I always tell people, even if you're not in the relationship, don't be a homewrecker, because like people kill over their spouse. Like you could be like, oh, that's not my issue. That's them cheating. You know, I'm single. And then you get shot. Like that happens all the time. So, leave people's relationships alone. But when the person you're cheating with is married to somebody in the military, I feel like this is not good survival skills. You feel me? I don't know if you guys have ever seen 1,000 Ways to Die, but I feel like this was probably an episode of 1,000 Ways to Die. This is not a good idea. Burr, I have been slowly coming around to you as a character. My guy, you can't beat, what's the male version of a mistress? I don't actually know what the male version of a mistress is, like what that word is called. But whatever that word is, Burr, don't be that, dude. Yeah. When I read it before they even said it, like as soon as the words popped up, I read it, British officer, and in my head, I also said, oh shit. And right after that, Alex was on the same page as me. And yeah, I mean, that's one way to like do mental warfare against the enemy, but also that's a really great way to get shot. So yeah, crazy. On a similar tangent, he said it's unlawful. Is the unlawful part like is he exaggerating, or was it like literally, is this at this time period, was adultery literally illegal? I know that this wasn't so old that like adultery could get you stoned. I say so old, there are still countries where that's a thing, but in the US, that's not a thing anymore. But I know at one point adultery was like literally illegal. It was against the law. I don't know if this is that time period. So that's even worse. If you are a part of cheating, putting yourself in danger, and also like going against, it's a trifecta of bad. It's a trifecta of terribles. But anyway, hopefully I'm going to be able to move past talking about cheating at some point in this musical. But I don't know. Maybe this was just par for the course during the time. I know Benjamin Franklin was a hoe, and that was the same era. So we shall see.
She's married to a British officer.
Oh, shit.
Congrats again, Alexander.
If you love this woman, go get her. What are you waiting for?
See you on the other side of the war.
See you on the other side of the war.
Theodosia writes me a letter every day. I'm keeping her bed warm while her husband is away. He's on the British side in Georgia. He's trying to keep the colonies in line. Well, he can keep all of Georgia. Theodosia, she's mine. Love doesn't discriminate. Said if there's a reason I'm by her side, so many you tried, then I'm willing to wait for it. I'm willing to wait for it.
Okay, so is this the wait for it that all y'all been commenting in every single comment of every single part leading up to? I done heard about 27,000 billion, 11 trillion wait for it's in my comment. I'm guessing it's this, this is what you got, the wait for it. Okay, I literally just said at the last pause, hopefully we can move past cheating. And then Hamilton walks off, and then we get the, Sinner's soliloquy or something? Sinner's soliloquy or something. See, I can alliterate too! That's gonna be confusing to anybody who didn't see the part 3 video, but that's on you. Go watch the part 3 video, and then my joke will make sense. Okay, so, Theodosia, that name sounds super familiar. So I guess she goes on to be somebody super important in history, but at the same time, not so important that I actually remember who she is. I guess she's Aaron Burr's wife. He said that he's willing to wait for it. So my thought is that maybe she's like No, I don't know. Because I was thinking like, okay, maybe she's getting a divorce and he's waiting for like that divorce to finalize. Then he can be with her. But that's, he said that her husband's on the other side of Georgia fighting the war. He about to be on the other side of your ass. That's what he about to be. So I'm just kidding. That was wild. But yeah, and he also said when so many others have tried. So again, like he keep going after the girls who are super popular. Angelica, everybody wanted her. She ended up liking Alex, but everybody wanted her. At least she was single though. Then he goes after Theodosia, who apparently also everybody wants. And somebody already she's married. I can't. I know y'all think I'm tripping, but yeah. And it sucks though, cause like I'm very conflicted, cause like the song is good. It's a little dancey, you know. He's singing good, but I'm like, how dare you make me dance to these treacherous lyrics? No, Bad Boy Burr. No, I did it again. Boom. Anyway, that's another one. Okay. Anyway, back to this point. Yeah, I like this like latter half of this song here, where it's just Aaron. Again, kind of like an internal monologue thing, just like Angelica got in Satisfied and Alex got in, I think, My Shot. And so I like these isolated moments, or if it's not isolated, where all the other characters freeze or pause or whatever, and we get this like explanation of the characters' internal dialogue, their own thought process on the situation. And again, while I'm not rocking with what Burr doing here, I am grateful for the additional looking glass into like what is going on inside of him, because I mean, clearly he's an interesting character. A lot of people like him a lot based off my comment section. And so I really, he's probably been the character I've been the most curious about in all of these videos, just due to like what ends up happening between him and Hamilton, and also like just the massive amounts of fans he has for some reason. So yeah, anyway, let's get back into it. But this I'm assuming that this wait for it thing, or maybe it becomes a thing like later and it's referenced again later in other songs. Just like say Aaron Burr telling Alexander to smile more is referenced in multiple songs. I don't know if it goes on to be like a thing in more songs, but this is the first time I think that I'm seeing wait for it accentuated, other than like in my comment section where people have commented that 800 times.
My mother was a genius. My father commanded respect. When they died, they left no instructions, just a legacy to protect. If there's a reason I'm still alive, when everyone who loves me has died, I'm willing to wait for it. I'm willing to wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Like no one feels.
Bruh. That was terrifying. I was like, oh, okay, the song's over. No, psych, you thought.
Psych! That's the wrong number!
Yo, I almost jumped out my skin, bruh. Oh, okay. I had other stuff that I was gonna say that just like really caught me off guard. I find it fascinating that his internal dialogue is not really rappy like Angelica and Alexander's internal dialogue is. It's more sung, it's more measured, which again very much matches his character up until this point, other than cheating and eventually shooting people. But other than that, he is like that's kind of the biggest difference I've noticed between him and Hamilton, is that he is more methodical and measured in his approach to everything, and his internal dialogue via this song matches that. But at the same time, there's also like a lot of like echoing. There are harmonies with like the background people, and I don't know if that is just like this is a more sung song, so they're doing things that are more common in melodic driven songs, like the reverb tail, which is the echo on his vocals, the wait for it, the preacher I think was one of them. I don't know all of them. You guys know the songs better than me. I'm seeing it for the first time, but you know what I'm talking about. There's like a echo that's happening at the end of his lines. which of course symbolically makes me think of a bunch of different things. On one end, you could be like, oh, his head is empty. That's why it's echoing. That's probably not what Lin was going for when he did that. So that's putting that aside. It could also be like a reference to like how deep in thought he is, how methodical he is, how he's mulling over the same things, in this case the same word, over and over and over again. Yeah, I just found it really interesting. His internal dialogue is very, very distinct from Angelica and Alex's internal dialogue, which was more similar, if that makes sense. Which makes sense why they would like each other and why she wouldn't like him if they aren't on that same wavelength. But I just found it noteworthy.
I am the one thing in life I can control. I am inimitable, I am an original. I'm not falling behind or running late. I'm not standing still, I am lying. He has something to prove, he has nothing to lose. Hamilton's pace is relentless, he wastes no time. What is it like in his shoes? Hamilton doesn't hesitate. He exhibits no restraint. He takes and he takes and he takes and changes the game, plays and he raises the stakes. And if there's a reason he seems to thrive when so few survive, then God damn it, I'm willing to wait for it. Life doesn't discriminate between the sinners and the saints. It takes and it takes and it takes.
Okay, that was a really confusing song. So like the amount of changes in that song, and with that being like a internal he's not talking to anybody. He's talking to himself. And so I am analyzing this song through this is my first look into Burr's mind, and his mind is a lot more sporadic than I expected it to be. This song is not one speed, even though on the surface that is what Burr seems like. It's kind of like that saying, still waters run deep, or something like that, which is basically like if the water looks calm on the surface, that's because the currents are happening at a lower level that you can't see. And that is kind of the vibe that I get from him in this song. And that's probably like forwarded by the fact that there's like a blue light on him this whole video, but whatever. The point is still there, which is that there's like an internal, there's a level of dynamics to his internal dialogue that is different than the natural dynamics of rapping, which, especially if you are changing your flow up, is going to have some level of variance because that's just how talking works, right? But his internal dialogue goes from calm to quiet to big and boisterous to back to calm to it's very interesting. I'm not exactly sure what that says yet, but it is something that I am noting, that like there is a certain level of complexity to Burr. Not that I thought he was an inherently like simple or basic character, but there's a certain level of complexity to his internal frequency or his internal cadence that is interesting, and I hadn't seen that before. So far from Burr, all we got was he is measured and methodical, especially when compared to Alex, who basically they act as each other's foils, given that they are so different but have essentially the same goals. But anyway, and then we also got like, obviously he also has a little bit of that like social climber kind of thought process that Hamilton has, not to the same degree, because again, as he said, Hamilton has nothing to lose. So like any progress he makes is inherently progress. Like if you start at the bottom, even if you don't make it to the top of the mountain, which is obviously what Hamilton is shooting for, but any movement is basically going to take you further up the mountain because you were already at the bottom. Versus Burr is like somewhere, I don't know, say in the middle or something. So while he's not like as established as I guess he wants to be, he's still not like starting at rock bottom. So he has to be measured, because if you make the wrong move, you can slide down the mountain. And so one line that he had there that really stuck out to me, where he was like, I'm not standing still, I'm lying in wait, which is kind of like, which is like really illuminating to like his thought process, where it's like, I'm a cat that's waiting to pounce, or a snake that has like, you know, I don't know what it's called when snakes like, they like coil up and they get ready to strike, right? But that's him. He's not a tortoise, even though he understands that, like, compared to Alex, that's how he looks, especially to Alex and to me. So yeah, I like the song a lot, basically, because it gives us, like, I say us, I know all of you guys have seen this like 27,000 times. I haven't seen it though. So I'm experiencing all of this for the first time. And also due to my not knowing the like specific historical details of these people's lives, I don't know all of the intricacies that happen and all of the ins and outs of their personalities. And so this was very illuminating for me, this song. And I think that's dope. And for anybody who's confused by my whole like cat, snake analogy, cat, snake, tortoise analogy that I made earlier, sorry, that's probably just gonna happen. My brain does this thing where I just compare everybody's behavior to animals. I just do. And so yeah, like in my head, like I see Alex as a honey badger. That it just, if you know anything about honey badgers, it just makes sense. Okay, he's a honey badger.
This is the honey badger. Watch it run in slow motion. It's pretty badass. Look, it runs all over the place. Whoa, watch out, says that bird. Ew, it's got a snake. Oh, it's chasing a jackal. Oh my gosh. Oh, the honey badgers are just crazy. The honey badger has been referred to by the Guinness Book of World Records as the most fearless animal in all of the animal kingdom. It really doesn't give a shit. Look, a snake's up in the tree. Honey badger don't care. Honey badger don't give a shit. It just takes what it wants. Whenever it's hungry, it just, ew, and it eats snakes.
So I say that to say that over the course of these videos, I will probably end up comparing every single character to some animal at some point. It just is what it is. So yeah, anyway, let's
list of their troops take flight. Make it impossible to justify the cost of the fight. Outrun, outlast.
Okay, so there's a lot going on. Let's go in chronological order. What do you guys call them? I call them redcoats. I don't know if that's like the correct name for them. I know some of you guys are British. I can see in the analytics some of y'all are from Crown Country. So what do y'all call y'all soldiers? Do you have a special name for them? Because I was taught redcoats, you know, redcoats are coming, redcoats are coming. I don't know if that's like the correct name for them, but the British soldier dude, I know that's not the right name for him, shot, and the way that they showed that was so interesting with the background dancer basically charting the trajectory of the bullet like across the stage and over Alex's head, which he didn't even react to the bullet, which makes me think that that's like a metaphorical bullet. Like that bullet wasn't actually fired at him. Also, why would he be getting shot at while doing paperwork? I know that he's like working with the colonists, but like he clearly wasn't in battle. So I'm thinking that's a metaphorical bullet to like show like how close the revolutionary fighters are to being taken down, because the situation that they're explaining is dire. Like Congress is saying, hey, George, attack. We're trying to win this revolutionary war. And Hamilton, being the snappy, snarky honey badger that he is, he writes back, hey, we eating Taco Bell. I mean, horse meat. Wild.
What did he say?
If I get famous enough that like somebody at Taco Bell actually sees this, that's not a shot at Taco Bell. I like whatever dog meat, cat meat, whatever y'all be serving is good. no, it's not beef. So, yeah.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
But anyway, back to the point. They're clearly in a dire situation. And so I knew that it wasn't just like, oh, hey, we're going to leave. And then the British were like, all right, mate, why are they Australian? That's not, their accents are similar to my American brain, but that's not, it sounded, okay, whatever. Now the Australians are like, you don't sound Australian. Whatever, shut up. The point is, I know that the British didn't just let us go. You know, it wasn't like a Moses, let my people go type situation, and then they allowed us to be a free country. I knew that there was a war, but I didn't know that things were so bad for the Americans in specific ways. Like, I didn't know the whole merchants not selling stuff to the revolutionaries, which, like, that's interesting because I can see on one hand why they wouldn't want to, because you don't want to, like, the British, there's more of them and they have more money. And if y'all lose, we don't want to be connected to y'all and go down with you, get our establishments shut down, or worse, we get designated viable military targets where, like, in certain situations, what would be civilian targets are now deemed military targets because you're working with the military. And so you are now, like, within the rules of war and whatnot, you are now well within the right to be a target for attack. So I get why the merchants and the businesses would not want to go down with the revolutionaries in this particular situation, because you don't know that they're going to win. In fact, right now, it looks like they're definitely not going to win. But at the same time, by modern standards, modern corporations are like, hey, we're going to profit off both sides of this war. So we're going to sell stuff to both of y'all. We're going to interact with both of y'all, so on and so forth. So I didn't know that, like, even in the colonies, the businesses weren't rocking with the revolutionaries. So that's really interesting little factoid for me. Another thing is this outrun, outlast reminds me of the right-hand man, outgunned, outman, outplanned. I don't know. He says a bunch of words that start with out. I feel like Lin just went to the dictionary and got to the section of out, and all of the words that said out that came after it, like that start with the prefix of out, he just wrote all of them into George Washington's lyrics at some point. So that's really interesting. But okay, we're gonna get back into this. I feel bad for my girl Eliza. She up there on the balcony, and she's worried about Hamilton because he's being shot at by these metaphorical bullets, obviously. And, you know, the people who suffer it the worst in war are soldiers, obviously. But right under that are soldiers' families. And so, like, the stress and worry about Hamilton has to be immense, especially in this era where there wasn't, like, quick forms of communication. They're writing letters and, I don't know, sending them by messenger pigeon or something. I don't know what the form of mail was back then, but I know that it wasn't good. So wasn't no direct messages back then. So my point is, I feel for her in her worry and stress about her new husband. Also, they ain't get no honeymoon. Anyway, whatever. I know they're fighting a war. I'm just saying. He got like one night of getting drunk. Now he getting shot at again. So it's not ideal. Not ideal.
Hit 'em quick, get out fast, and stay alive until this horror show is past. We're gonna fly a lot of flags half-mast.
Raise a glass.
I go back to New York in my apprenticeship.
I ask for French aid. I pray that France has sent a ship.
I stay at work with Hamilton. We write essays against slavery, and every day's a test of our camaraderie and bravery.
So we cut supply lines, and every day, sir, entrust me with a command. And every day,
No.
he dismisses me out of hand. Instead of me, he promotes Charles Lee, makes him second in command.
I'm a general.
Yeah, he's not the choice I would have gone with. He shits the bed at the Battle of Monmouth.
Everyone attack! Attack! What are you doing, Lee? Get back on your feet! I'm sorry, is this not your speed?
1,000 soldiers die in 100-degree heat as we snatch.
So there's a lot happening, okay? The music is good, but I'm sucked into the plot at this point. We went from talking about the dire straits of the situation, and Hamilton handling the correspondence for George Washington to Congress. To like, they're literally being shot, not metaphorically, they're literally being shot at this point. Hamilton, being Hamilton, is asking every single day the same question, which I feel like he would become a very annoying employee very quickly, but he's asking the same question because my boy is ambitious. He's trying to get himself a battalion or some group of men to command, and George Washington's like, nah, that's not what I hired you for. And you knew that when I hired you. But nevertheless, Hamilton still being persistent and trying to get a command, but he gets passed over. So see, him and Burr have something in common. Y'all should connect on that. Both of y'all lost out jobs to other people, except Burr lost out the job to Hamilton. So, but the point is, actually Hamilton lost out the job twice. So Hamilton got it twice as bad as Burr because he lost out to Charles Lee and Brigadier General Baguette with the Bun Lafayette. If somebody gonna get it, I'm happy that he got it. I like Lafayette's character a lot. But yeah, the dude was like retreating because he was like, hey, there's too many of them, which like, shut up. Okay, you knew that when you got this position, when you joined the Revolutionary War, you knew what the situation was, you knew what the stakes were. Don't be complaining now. Okay, I didn't give you a position of command. You got some power. It's not like you are directly in the battle getting shot at, because that's not how generals work. Why are you crying?
Why are you crying now?
Or better yet, why are you running?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
So even though I'm sure it's very annoying to tell Hamilton no to the same question every single day, he wouldn't have had this problem with Hamilton. I'm just saying, like, before he was complaining in the Right Hand Man song, he was complaining about everybody was afraid, even though they respected George, and they kept retreating and running away. Not Hamilton, though. That's part of the reason he hired him. He has all the audacity, okay? If the man has anything, it's audacity. He was out here stealing the British cannons, turning them back on the British to fight, and he has said like 27 times that he's not afraid to die in this musical so far. So like, you wouldn't have had this problem with Hamilton as the general. I'm just saying. But you chose Charles Lee for whatever reason. I'm sure Charles Lee had some level of qualification, but I think they said thousands of soldiers died in whatever battle he shit the bed in. So, sucks to suck, bruh. But that's what happens. You do a bad job, you get fired. And in war, when you get fired, you just get fired at. So, unfortunate, but that is the situation at hand. So, crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Washington cannot be left alone to his devices. Indecisive from crisis to crisis. The best thing he could do for the revolution is turn and go back to planting tobacco in Mount Vernon.
Don't do a thing. History will prove him wrong. But sir, we have a war to fight. Let's move along.
Strong words from Lee. Someone ought to hold him to it.
I can't disobey direct orders.
Then I'll do it. Alexander, you're the closest friend I've got.
Lawrence, do not throw away your shot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a 10 commandment. Number 1.
The challenge, demand satisfaction. If they apologize, no need for further action.
Number 2.
If they don't, grab a friend, that's your second.
Your lieutenant, when there's reckoning to be reckoned.
Number 3.
Have your seconds meet face to face.
Negotiate a peace.
Or negotiate a time and place.
Okay, so this is I feel like the stakes have gone down from a macro perspective, but have gone way up from an interpersonal perspective. They about to duel. Okay, they go do they little fastest hands in the West. Yeah, yeah. Also, like, Lawrence don't even work for George Washington, but because you need you a friend like this, okay? They're a little bit crazy, but they got your back, okay? Lawrence is like, that's not even my boss, but he bad-mouthing your boss, and you my best friend, so I'm ready to ride right now. Yeah, crazy. That escalated so quickly, but also, like, bad-mouthing a beloved general, not good survival. I feel like there's not a lot of good survival instincts in this part. Okay, there's like every song, somebody doing something, just begging to get shot, and I'm like, why? Y'all not afraid of death? Y'all don't like life? Y'all not enjoying living? Like I'm enjoying living? I don't understand. So yeah, they dueling now. I like that Lawrence made Alex his lieutenant because like who else would be his lieutenant? I'm only in this fight because of you, so you obviously gotta be my go-between person. But at the same time, as much as I like Alex as a character, like I find him interesting and engaging to follow, I'm not making this fool my negotiating part. No. You can't be speaking on my behalf if you're crazy. I'm crazy enough on my own. You need to be sensible. Charles Lee, is Burr his lieutenant negotiator person? Because I saw him walk up when they said, pick a second in command, pick a lieutenant, and both Alex and Burr walked up. So I'm guessing that Burr is Charles Lee's lieutenant because I know that he actually works in the military, which Alex wanted, he was complaining about before, and Aaron Burr was like, no, you're indispensable to George Washington, your position is good, which is so funny. They're both coveting the other person's position because, of course, everybody wants what they don't have. But anyway, I feel like Burr would make a better negotiator just because he's like a lawyer. He's more poised, and therefore he's less likely to do something or say something sporadic versus like Alex, who is technically the lieutenant or not the lieutenant, but he's like the right-hand man, literally, to George Washington. George Washington told him, hey, we got bigger stuff to focus on. We got bigger fish to fry. We don't have time to be arguing with this hater over here who leaving hate comments. We need to be like fighting wars, okay? But no, Alex is like, yeah, if you didn't give me a direct command, I'd be shooting him myself. But since you gave me a direct command, I'm gonna get my best friend to shoot him on my behalf, on your behalf. So yeah, the dude is crazy. He would not be my go-between, but he's super interesting to watch.
Most disputes die and no one shoots. Number 4.
If they don't reach a peace, that's all right. Time to get some pistols and the doctor on site.
5.
Fall before the sun is in the sky.
Pick a place to die where it's high and dry. Number 6.
Leave a note for your next of kin.
7.
Confess your sins, ready for the moment of adrenaline. Win, finally feast your opponent.
Number 8. Your last chance to negotiate. Send in your second, see if they can set the record straight.
Hang on, how many men died because Lee was inexperienced and ruinous?
Okay, so we're doing this.
Number 9.
Look him in the...
Okay, so what was I just saying? Like, Burr came at it measured. All the stuff Burr has said, like he was like negotiate a peace, and then Alex like on his half of the line said negotiate a time and place. Now, where you I don't know what number what is that? Is this a number 9? Was that number 9 or is this number 9? I don't know. Whatever number that was where they sent them in to do the final negotiations, Aaron was like, hey, this is dumb. Let's drop it. Like, we were supposed to end the dispute several steps ago or several commandments ago. And Alex was having none of that, okay? Again, honey badger. The dude he's insane. He's insane. He's super interesting. I like him. I still team Alex for the record. But he's insane. He's insane. So, yeah. I feel like I would have handled this more like Aaron. I probably would have been trying to talk them out of trying to shoot each other. On another note, I really like their use of the spinning floor in this song. Like, especially when they were across from each other and they were doing like the little step thing. I don't know what the exact move was, but they were spinning as they were doing. It just kind of seemed like maybe like in boxing where they're like spinning around each other, like getting ready. It felt like a sparring moment. And so I know this is a duel and not a spar. Like somebody is going to die here. I hope it's not Lawrence. I really of the little My Shot Tavern group. So of the trifecta of friends that Alex has that makes me laugh, I feel like I like Lawrence the most because he's like loyal, he's funny, he's cool. He's just a cool dude. And so I really hope he doesn't die. That would suck a lot. But yeah, I like their use of the floor. And one moment, all of the background dancers were facing the same way and like flipped another way, and I was like, oh, they're turning around. And then it started to spin, and the people who were turned around are now facing the front because the floor spin. I like it. I just think it's really cool the way they're using the spinning floor in this particular song. I don't think they've used it since Angelica's like rewind, you know, that part. But this particular moment, I think, is used so well.
But your man has to answer for his words, Bert.
With his life, we both know that's absurd, sir.
Hang on, how many men died because Lee was inexperienced and ruinous?
Okay, so we're doing this.
Number 9. Look him in the eye, ain't no higher. Summon all the courage you require. Then count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Number 10, paces, fire! Lee, do you yield?
You shot him in the side, yes he yields. I'm satisfied, we gotta clear the field.
Go, we won.
Here comes the general.
This should be fun.
What is the meaning of this? Thank you for your service.
Let's ride.
Hamilton,
Sir.
meet me inside.
Meet him inside. Meet him inside.
Son,
Don't call me son.
this war is hard enough without infighting.
Lee called you out. We called this
You
bluff.
solve nothing. You aggravate our allies to the south.
Absolutely right. John should have shot him in the mouth. That would have shut him up.
Son.
I'm not your son.
Watch your tone. I am not a maiden in need of defending. I
Tom
am
Lee,
grown.
Thomas Conway, these men take your name and they rake it through the mud.
My name's been through a lot. I can take
Well, I don't have your name. I don't have...
Okay, this is a lot. This is a lot, my boy. This is a lot. A lot is happening. So they got caught in their duel. Lawrence didn't die. I'm not sure if he even got shot, but Lee got shot, but he didn't die yet. Again, back in this day, you could get a bad scratch and you're dead. Okay, it was a dangerous time. So I don't know if Lee is going to go on to die, but he didn't die immediately, and they got caught. George Washington caught them. And now everybody is in trouble, and by everybody I mean Alex, because this was his plan. Yikes! This is bad. Also, Alex, you don't make a good employee, dog. Like, as someone who also does not make a good employee, I'm telling you, you don't make a good employee, dog. You should have just stayed out there doing whatever you was doing before, because you can't be, while being reprimanded, also be talking back. And he's like, don't call me son, which again, I get, I don't like to be called son either, but like, it's not the time, okay? You're in trouble. You shouldn't be. Yeah. I'm glad Lawrence survived though. That's my biggest takeaway from this. Yay, Lawrence didn't die, but yeah, they shot Lee. And they're aggravating. I get what George Washington is saying, because it's like, again, we don't have time to be infighting. It does not matter that I mean, depending on how loud the criticism gets, it could cost him his position. But at the end of the day, you're not going to make everybody happy. So if there is some criticism, not everybody has to be shot over that. And that does agitate the situation, make it much worse. All of the people who do support Lee, who do antagonize Washington, now have like a leg to stand on, as far as like, you shot him for talking smack about you. Like, that's not a good look on Washington, especially because it was orchestrated by Washington's right-hand man. So the flack does come back on what I get everybody in this scenario. I get why Alex is so gung-ho to shut this criticism up, because again, we don't have time for this. We are fighting a war for our freedom. We don't have time to be infighting, which is true from the standpoint of, so don't criticize George Washington, right? But at the same time, you are doing that to another level. You are now shooting people. You're not just infighting with each other. You're now literally in shooting with each other. That's not a word, but you know what I'm saying, right? So yeah, it's not great. It's all around. It's a tense situation. And me personally, I'm not conflict adverse, but if we're on the same team, I do my best to try to avoid us getting into conflict, because I try to keep the team focused on the goal, not on fighting each other. And so this is a massive distraction from the goal. And Yeah, things are tense. Things are definitely tense. It's crazy.
Or you could die, and we need you alive.
I am more than willing to die.
Your wife needs you alive, son. I need you
Call
alive.
me son one more time!
Go home, Alexander. That's an order from your commander. Go home.
Oh, I was already supposed to stop from what I went over. My bad. Bruh. Okay, I'll talk about it in the outro. Just whatever. We gonna go to the outro. Like that wasn't just crazy. Like I'm just supposed to act like that was normal, and we supposed to. It's like, oh, thanks for watching the video. No, we gonna talk about it. Okay, so wow. Okay, all right. Okay. I was sucked in. Okay, there's a lot going on with the actual plot itself, and that's what had my attention. So let's talk about that, because that was crazy. My boy Hamilton lost it at the end there, and he might lose his job, or maybe he did lose his job. I don't know. He got sent home though. I don't know if that was like go home forever, or if that was like a go home cool off type situation. But there was a lot of all cute waiting for him there at the end with a bench. I didn't see where the bench came in either. It was okay. It was a lot going on. I feel like Hamilton was wrong on this one. I think George and Burr were being more sensible in this particular situation. I feel like I should not be more mad than you about you being criticized. You know, like if I'm ever in a situation where I am, that's not true, because I've been in this situation a few times, like specifically with like family, with people coming at my family. I'm very protective of my family, and so sometimes they'll be like, chill, and I will not be chill. So like I understand that, but like my boss, nah, I'm not gonna be more mad at you criticizing my boss than my boss being mad at you criticizing. Like that doesn't make sense. So yeah, but at the same time, I can also like see like why he is frustrated, because it's like, you messed up, you lost a bunch of soldiers' lives, and now you're trying to shift the blame to Washington when this is you were in the wrong here. And again, infighting is not helping our cause. Neither is you losing battles. I get Alexander's frustration, and also I feel like some of that explosion at the end comes from frustration with like his ambition, wanting to rise up, and also wanting to have a position where he can command soldiers to like garner acclaim, because he says, I don't have land or titles or name or whatever there. So I feel like some of that is, it's not just the frustration with George Washington being criticized by a loser. It's also the frustration with like, hey, I keep trying to get you to give me a position and keep trying to like advance my life, my standing in society, and you keep blocking it. But at the same time, George Washington's like, dude, yeah, you could become somebody great if I gave you a battle position, but you also could die, and you need to live. You just got married. Eventually, your wife's probably gonna have some babies. Y'all gonna have kids. You need to live for that. And also, we as a revolutionary army need you in whatever position he's doing. I'm not really sure what his job entails that is like so critical that he specifically needs to be doing it, but clearly he serves an important role. And if he goes off into battle and just dies, then he can no longer serve that role. So I get it. I feel like everybody has some leg to stand on in this situation, but at the same time, I feel like the leg to stand on is the weakest with Alex in this particular. Does that make sense? I feel like his position is the least logical of everybody in this scenario, other than Charles Lee, who I'm just not even counting. Like, you shut up, go somewhere, go lick your wounds, bro. Like, we're not talking about you right now. But like, of the main characters who we have previously been introduced to and have like some established rapport with. I feel like Alex is the most out there, where I'm just like, I can't rock with you on that one, bro. Like, even though I understand, but I don't agree. Does that make sense? So, yeah, this was fascinating. This is, I'm so invested in this. It's very interesting. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have watched until this point, I'm sure this video is super long. We covered quite a few songs in this video, and just like quite a bit of footage. So if you have watched until this point, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna have y'all drop lions emojis if you've watched the end of the video, but instead drop a sun emoji, because why not? Let's change it up. So drop a sun emoji down in the comment section down below. If you have watched until this point, let me know so I can thank you personally. It really does mean a lot. I know that these videos are super long, but in my defense, there's a lot going on, and there's like so many layers, and even still, I feel like there are certain aspects of this that I'm not covering that I wish I could be covering, or that I'm just missing because like so many things are happening simultaneously. But I am trying my best to catch all that I can in the first viewing of this here musical. But yeah, it's crazy. The stakes have upped, and I don't even know right now if my boy Hamilton still got a job. I don't know what's gonna happen, okay? And that's very interesting. I'm definitely at the edge of my seat. So thank you so much for coming along with me on this journey. Definitely make sure to subscribe. We just pushed past the 20,000 subscriber mark. So thank you so much for all of you who have subscribed. But if you haven't subscribed, I know that quite a few of you haven't subscribed. So definitely make sure to subscribe, not to miss future parts. Going to continue to be reacting to Hamilton all the way through because I am invested, dude. This has been a ride. So thank you so much for coming along with me on this journey, and I'll see all of you guys here on the channel next time for the next part. You guys have a great day. Peace.
Twilight, these skies no blues. A new love, but we know that it'll cruise like time in a queue. Wet shampoo, new bamboo. Much more of it will ensue. I'm caught in this trance in lieu of sinking down in the stew. You change up the brew, now life tastes so brand new. It's delicious like fondue. Under the moonlight tonight, stars and hearts shimmering. You illuminate who I am. You're a backlight, my midnight.